Welcome friends, this is an introductory video. So in the future, in the coming videos, I am going to cover the major international environment conventions. So these are important from the point of view of examination as well as for general studies as well. So here I am going to cover the major international conventions in the area of natural conservation, hazardous material, land conservation and matters related to atmosphere. So under natural conservation we have United Nations Conference on Environment and Development, that is the UNCED, also called as Rio Earth Summit, that happened in 1992. And the second is Convention on Biological Diversity and Ramsar Convention on Wetlands. I have covered this already in the previous videos. And the fourth one is Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Fauna and Flora, that is CITES. And the fifth major convention is the Convention on Conservation of Migratory Species. So these are the five important conventions under the natural conservation. Under hazardous material we have Stockholm Convention, Basel Convention and Rotterdam Convention. So for the conservation of land we have United Nations Convention to combat desertifications. And in the area of atmosphere we have United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. So I'm going to cover the protocols for this convention as well. These include Kyoto Protocol, Montreal Protocol, Nagoya Protocol on access to genetic resources and benefit sharing, and Cartagena Protocol on biosafety. So these are the important things I'm going to cover in the coming videos. Please let me know if I have left any of the important conventions. Please inform me in the comment section below. So in these conventions and protocols there are certain terms that keeps reappearing again and again. So I'm going to clarify these meaning of these terms. The first one is convention. So a convention is a formal agreement between the states. So here the states, that is the countries, meet together in a forum called convention and decide about a particular topic that is related to the international welfare. Okay, that is in the area of climate change. So to control greenhouse gases, the countries get together under United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. So they decided to reduce the global warming gases, that is the carbon dioxide and other gases, through international cooperation as well as domestic control mechanism. So this is called a convention. Here the generic name of convention is similar to that of a treaty. So it can be referred to as a treaty. Okay, and conventions are normally open for participation by the international community as a whole. This includes the countries, NGOs, multilateral organizations like United Nations, World Bank, IMF and other UNEP, UNDP, like that. So these are the communities that are taking part in the convention. So here under convention the different parties, that is the different countries, decided on a broad terms. So how best we can control the climate change, like that. So they do not go into deeper aspects of the subject. So the deeper aspects, the procedures and rules and regulations and guidelines are put forward in the protocol. Okay, so for most of the conventions there is a protocol. Here the convention decides the broad guidelines and the protocol will lay down the detailed procedures that must be undertaken by the countries in order to make this event a successful event. For example, for United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, this is a broad term for the control of the climate change events. So for this convention there is a protocol called Kyoto Protocol. So this Kyoto Protocol was formed in 1997. Under this protocol the nations decided to put restrictions on the countries about the greenhouse gas emissions. So detailed guidelines, rules and regulations, restrictions are made through the protocols. So this protocol used for an additional legal instrument that complements and adds to a treaty. So this protocol is an additional legal instrument that complements to a treaty or convention. So a protocol adds to the treaty. Okay, and a protocol may be on any topic relevant to the original treaty. So protocols do not have independent existence. It has to be in association with a major treaty. Okay, this is subordinate. And Another term is accessions. So accession is an act by which the state signifies its agreement to be legally bound by the terms of a particular treaty. So if the states agrees to be legally bound by a particular treaty, it is called accession. So it does not require the ratification by the parliament. So what is the meaning of ratification? So in every convention, the state put head of the states or designated parties put signature for assessing into the convention. So that does not stop at that place itself. So those governments has to bring that agreement into the respective parliaments. For example, if India agrees with the Convention on Biological Diversity, okay, if India signs the Convention on Biological Diversity, it has to be ratified by the Parliament of India in order to give sanctity for this signature. So ratification is when the countries get the permission from the respective parliament by ratifying the treaty. So this is the ratification. And the conference of parties. The conference of parties is the governing body. Okay, this is the managerial body of the convention and advances its implementation through the decisions it takes at the periodical meetings. So this conference of parties are the member countries. Okay, the member countries form a governing body through their representatives, and these representatives take important decisions related to the conventions and how best it can be implemented and what are the structures that can be formed for implementation. So these are the decisions, and they also monitor the progress of the convention. So through this conference of parties, the convention will be made successful. So for example, in Convention on Biological Diversity, there are 12 conference of parties. That means 12 meetings are made by the member countries that are ratified into Convention on Biological Diversity till date. So this is the meaning of it. So thanks for watching. So I am going to cover those topics in the coming videos. Thanks.